I accidentally ruined my best friend's proposal, and I can never tell her. My best friend Sarah is finally getting married to her boyfriend Mark. I'm so happy for her. They've been together for ages, and he's a great guy. He asked me to help him plan the proposal, which was supposed to be this grand romantic gesture on a weekend trip we all took to the coast a few months back. I was so excited to be in on it, to help make it perfect for her. I even suggested the location, this secluded little cove we used to go to as teenagers, a really special place for us. Mark had it all planned out. Sunset picnic, fairy lights, the whole shebang. My job was simple: distract Sarah while Mark set everything up with the help of his brother, who was also on the trip, pretending to just be there for a boys' weekend. I was supposed to take Sarah for a walk along the beach, leading her towards the cove at just the right time. Easy, right? Well, Sarah being Sarah, she's always running late. We were supposed to leave for our walk at 6 p.m. to catch the sunset, but by 6:15 she was still trying to decide which shoes to wear. Mark was texting me frantically, telling me he was almost set up and the sun was going down fast. I was starting to panic, trying to rush Sarah without making it seem obvious. Finally, around 6:30, we were walking, but more like power walking at this point, along the beach. I could see the cove in the distance, and I could just make out Mark and his brother moving around trying to get everything ready in the fading light. Then, disaster struck. We were passing this rocky outcrop, and Sarah, in her usual clumsy fashion, tripped and almost fell. I instinctively reached out to grab her, but in doing so I lost my footing on the wet sand and went sprawling. And wouldn't you know it, right as I fell, my hand landed squarely in a massive pile of dog poop, like the fresh, steaming kind. It was everywhere, on my hand, under my nails, even splashed up onto my jacket. Sarah thankfully managed to stay upright, but she was instantly concerned about me, and then she smelled it. The smell was overpowering. We both gagged. I looked down at my hand in disgust and started frantically trying to wipe it off on the sand, making things 10 times worse. Sarah, bless her heart, was trying not to laugh, but also clearly horrified. The romantic walk was officially over. We had to go back to the cabin so I could wash my hand, and probably my entire body, about 10 times. By the time I was semi-clean and we got back outside, it was almost completely dark. The sunset was long gone. Mark, bless his heart again, was still down in the cove, surrounded by wilting fairy lights and slightly soggy picnic blankets. He looked utterly defeated. Sarah, oblivious to the whole proposal plan, just felt bad that our walk had been ruined by my unfortunate encounter with canine waste. She suggested we just order pizza and watch a movie instead. Mark, trying to salvage something, mumbled something about maybe tomorrow, but the moment was lost. He ended up proposing in our cabin later that night, after we'd all had a few too many beers and were playing board games. It was still lovely, of course, and Sarah said yes immediately, but it wasn't the magical romantic proposal he had planned, and it's all because of me and a rogue pile of dog poop. I feel terrible. I know it's silly, and in the grand scheme of things it doesn't really matter how he proposed as long as they're getting married, but I know how much effort Mark put into planning it, and I know how much Sarah would have loved that sunset proposal in our special cove. And I ruined it, completely and utterly ruined it, and I can never tell them the truth. I can't tell Sarah that I know about the original proposal plan, and that my clumsiness is the reason she didn't get her fairy tale moment. It would just make her feel bad, and it wouldn't change anything. So I'll just have to live with the guilt and maybe buy them an extra nice wedding gift to compensate for my accidental proposal sabotage. Oh my god, talk about a proposal going sideways. This is peak r/confessions material. If you're loving this, hit that subscribe button for more chaotic confessions. My mom thinks I'm a failure because I'm not a doctor like my brother, but she doesn't know my failure is supporting her. Growing up, it was always drilled into me and my brother David that we needed to be successful. In my mom's eyes, success was very narrowly defined, doctor or lawyer. Anything less was disappointing. David, being the golden child, naturally excelled in science and was always destined for medicine. Me? Not so much. I was more into art and writing, subjects my mom considered hobbies, not careers. So while David was busy acing his pre-med courses, I was struggling through business school, chosen because it was practical and employable, even though my heart wasn't in it. I graduated with decent grades, got a stable job in finance, and started climbing the corporate ladder. On paper, I was doing well, but in my mom's eyes, I was still living in David's shadow. Every family gathering was a reminder. David's just finished his residency, she'd announced to anyone who would listen. He's specializing in cardiology. So impressive. Then she turned to me, a forced smile on her face. "And you're still at that finance company, right? That's good." The "that's good" always sounded like a pitying "poor you" in disguise. What she doesn't know, what she's never asked, is that my unimpressive finance job is the reason she's still living comfortably after my dad passed away 5 years ago. Dad's business wasn't as stable as we thought, and his life insurance barely covered the debts. Mom was facing losing the house, her savings were dwindling, and she was too proud to ask for help. So, I stepped in. Without telling her, I quietly started paying her mortgage, covering her bills, and making sure she had enough to live on. I worked extra hours, took on side projects, and tightened my own belt to make it happen. It wasn't easy, but seeing her stress levels decrease and knowing she was secure was worth it. David, meanwhile, was busy with his demanding medical career, racking up student loan debt and living the typical doctor lifestyle. He's a good brother, and he helps Mom when he can, but he's not in a position to provide significant financial support yet. And Mom, in her blind admiration for his success, never suspects that it's her less successful child who's actually keeping her afloat. Sometimes I feel a pang of resentment. Why does she constantly compare us? Why can't she see that I'm doing my best in my own way? Why doesn't she appreciate the sacrifices I've made, the quiet support I provided just so she can maintain her lifestyle and her pride? I've considered telling her the truth, laying it all out, and finally getting some recognition for my efforts. But then I think about her reaction. She'd probably be shocked, maybe even grateful for a moment, but then she'd likely dismiss it as just your duty as a son, or find some way to minimize my contribution and redirect the praise back to David and his noble profession. So, I stay silent. I continue to be the underachieving son in her eyes, the one who didn't live up to her lofty expectations, and I keep paying her bills, ensuring her comfort, and knowing that my failure is her silent safety net. It's a weird kind of satisfaction, a bittersweet secret. Maybe one day when David is a famous cardiologist and I'm still just in finance, she'll finally realize that success comes in many forms, and sometimes the quietest support is the most valuable of all. I secretly sabotaged my twin sister's chance at my dream job, and I'm not even sorry. My twin sister Emily and I have always been competitive. It's the twin thing, I guess. Growing up, it was always a race to see who could get better grades, who could be the star of the school play, who could get the most attention from our parents. But beneath the surface, there was always love, a bond, or so I thought. My dream job has always been to work at Starlight Studios, a major animation company. Ever since I was a kid, I've been obsessed with animation, drawing characters, creating stories. It's my passion, my life's goal. And the Starlight is the pinnacle, the place where dreams are made, and animated literally. A few months ago, I saw a job posting for a junior animator position at Starlight. It was perfect, exactly what I wanted, exactly what I've been working towards. I applied immediately, poured my heart and soul into my portfolio, and crossed my fingers. Then Emily told me she'd applied too. My heart sank. Emily is also a talented artist, but animation isn't really her thing. She's more into fine art, sculptures, abstract stuff. She had always scoffed at my cartoon obsession and said animation was childish. So why was she applying for my dream job? I asked her point blank why she was going for it. She shrugged, a casual, irritatingly nonchalant shrug. Just thought I'd try something new, she said. It's a good company, good benefits, and broaden my horizons. Broaden her horizons. She knew how much this job meant to me. She knew it was my ultimate goal, and she was just trying something new. It felt like a deliberate act of sabotage, a twisted game of sibling rivalry taken to a whole new level. The interview started. We both got through the first round, then the second. It was agonizing. Every step of the way, I felt like I was competing not just with other applicants, but with my own sister. The tension between us was palpable, a thick, unspoken rivalry hanging in the air whenever we were together. Then, during the final interview stage, something unexpected happened. Emily called me, sounding distraught. She said her portfolio website had crashed right before her final interview with the hiring manager. All her work, all her carefully curated animations gone. Technical difficulties, server issues, whatever. The timing was catastrophic. She was panicking, begging me for help. Could I send her some of my files just as placeholders? Could I help her rebuild her site in a few hours? She was desperate, and a part of me, a small, petty, vindictive part of me, saw an opportunity. I helped her. I spent hours trying to fix her website, attempting to recover her files, or frantically searching for solutions online. I acted stressed, concerned, supportive, but deep down a dark, shameful part of me was pleased. I knew realistically that without a portfolio, her chances were slim to none. And with her out of the running, my path to my dream job became a whole lot clearer. Of course, I didn't actually sabotage her website. I'm not a monster. But I didn't exactly go above and beyond to help her either. I could have done more. I know I could have, but I didn't. I let technical difficulties take their course. And maybe, just maybe, I subtly steered her towards less effective solutions, accidentally deleted a few temporary files while helping. Subtle things, deniable things, but enough to ensure her portfolio remained offline for her interview. I got the job. I start at Starlight Studios next month. It's everything I've ever wanted. I should be ecstatic. And part of me is, but there's also this gnawing guilt, this uncomfortable secret I'm carrying. Emily didn't get the job, obviously. She was devastated, blaming herself, the unreliable internet, everything but me. I comforted her, told her it wasn't meant to be, and secretly, silently celebrated my victory. I know what I did, or rather what I didn't do, was wrong. It was selfish, manipulative, and downright cruel, but honestly, looking back, knowing I secured my dream job, knowing I finally escaped the shadow of sibling rivalry, I'm not even that sorry. Maybe a little guilty, sure, but mostly triumphant, and that's probably the most messed up confession of all. Okay, wow, this is dark, even for r/confessions, but be honest, a tiny part of us gets the ambition, right? Is it wrong to feel a little understanding here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I still wear my ex-girlfriend's hoodie years after we broke up, and my current girlfriend has no idea. It's been 5 years since Sarah and I broke up. 5 years. It feels like a lifetime ago, and also like yesterday. We were together for 3 years, high school sweethearts, the whole cliche. We thought we were going to be together forever. Of course we weren't. Life happens, people change, and we drifted apart. The breakup was mutual, amicable as breakups can be. We both moved on, or at least pretended to. Sarah gave me this hoodie for my 18th birthday. It's just a plain gray hoodie, nothing fancy, but it was from her and it was incredibly soft and comfortable. I wore it all the time, to school, to the movies, just lounging around at home. It became my hoodie. Even after we broke up, I kept it, tucked away in the back of my closet, a little piece of the past. Over the years, I've dated other people, good people, but no one ever quite felt like Sarah. Maybe it's just nostalgia, maybe it's the rosy glow of hindsight, but there's always been this lingering something, a what if, a maybe someday. Now I'm with Jessica. She's amazing, smart, funny, beautiful, and we have a genuine connection. I love her, I really do, and I haven't thought about Sarah, not really, in a long time, until recently. It was a cold night a few weeks ago. Jessica was staying over and we were just relaxing on the couch watching TV. I was freezing. I went to grab a blanket from the closet and there it was, Sarah's hoodie, buried under a pile of old sweaters, forgotten for years. On impulse, I pulled it out. It still smelled faintly of her perfume, that vanilla scent she always wore. A wave of memories washed over me. Late night study sessions, whispered secrets, first kisses under the bleachers, stupid teenage stuff, but meaningful. I slipped the hoodie on. It was still incredibly soft, still perfectly worn in. It felt like a warm hug from the past. Jessica didn't notice. She was engrossed in the movie. I sat there wrapped in Sarah's hoodie, feeling comfortable, too comfortable maybe. Since then, I've been wearing it. Secretly, of course. When Jessica's not around, when I'm just at home by myself or going for a late night walk. It's become my comfort blanket again, a little piece of Sarah in my life, even though she's not actually in my life anymore. It's ridiculous, I know. I'm a grown man wearing my ex-girlfriend's hoodie like some lovesick teenager. It's probably unhealthy, definitely weird, and if Jessica ever found out, she'd probably think I was insane. Or worse, still in love with Sarah. I'm not in love with Sarah, I'm in love with Jessica. But there's something about that hoodie, something about the memories it holds that I can't quite let go of. It's a reminder of a different time, a different me, a different kind of love, a simpler love maybe, or maybe just a love that's safely in the past, no longer complicated by reality. So I keep wearing it, in secret, a gray ghost from a former life, a soft, comfortable lie, and Jessica, blissfully unaware, just thinks I'm a little bit obsessed with old clothes. She has no idea the real reason why I keep reaching for that faded gray hoodie. The reason why it still feels like coming home even after all these years. 5 years and the hoodie still wins. That's some serious comfort right there. If you get this confession, like and subscribe for more, and have a great rest of your day.